Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to the Whiskey Cove. And on today's episode, we asked the question, is this hard to find budget bourbon worth looking for? Run the video. Alright then everybody, welcome back to the Whiskey Cove, welcome back to the channel, and what is, as usual, a very new and exciting episode of the Whiskey Cove. And today we will be deep diving into Old Barton, or I should say Very Old Barton, by the Barton Distillery in Bardstown, Kentucky. So this is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. So is it really a hard to find budget bourbon? I would say so. We don't really see this in Colorado. There's a lot of places out there that generally don't see it. It probably is more available in places like Kentucky and Tennessee, around the motherland there. But for a lot of the country, we generally don't see this bottle. So I was only able to pick this bottle up when I did a road trip back end of last year. I actually picked up from Arizona of all places. It did set me back a hefty $18.99. I think that's right in line with the cost on this one. The label looks like that. It has black and gold on it and a little bit of white, so it's definitely a bottle after my own heart. It is 100 proof, 50% ABV, but not bottled in bond, just in case you were wondering. It doesn't really have too much information on it. It has another top label here that talks about the Surgeon General warning, and also tells you can have a refund of 15 cents in Vermont and then 5 cents in Hawaii. So take your pick which state you'd like to take that back to. $18.99, like I said, I feel like it's pretty good value for money. Overall, the bottle is like this really interesting curvy bottle with those two labels. It does, however, have the classic plastic cap, but that's understandable. It is a budget bourbon. It's not a $60 or $70 bottle of bourbon where it probably shouldn't have it. It's right in line with what you would expect there. So, bottle, love the bottle. I think it's pretty cool. I think it looks really good on the shelf. It looks like it could be a good whiskey. The label is dated itself over time, and the plastic cap, I bet if they changed the plastic cap, updated maybe a little bit of the font on the white label there, it could look like a little bit of a premium whiskey. That's just my 2 cents. As you can see, we have already gone through a decent amount of this bottle. So before we finish it off, and we wanted to do a review on it, because I always like to try to do a review on a bottle of whiskey that probably I may not be able to find again, or before it leaves the Whiskey Cove, so that I know I don't have to get another bottle to do a review for whatever reason. With that being said, let's stop talking and get into the whiskey itself. So this is definitely straw color or hay color, take your pick. Very light, the light gold if you like, yellow, straw, pale. Looks very thin in the glass. But it is leaving a little oiliness, a little up the seams there. Just as I'm kind of rolling this, I'm getting some small sweet and cherry notes there, which are quite inviting, which is a pretty good sign. That's quite still punchy there. Let's go in for a nose here. Yeah, you definitely get those nice sweeter bacon cherry notes off the bat. There's a real sweetness there as well. Coming from maybe like more of like a corny sweetness. Think like a mellow corn sweetness if you like. But there's nothing wrong there. I think those two flavors come together really nice. Like sweet cherry is a very nice flavor. Who wouldn't like that? Maybe a little bit of spikiness there. Maybe it's more like corn grain alcohol. But it's there. But it's deep there. You have to go looking for it. There's real nice sweetness, real nice cherry. But if you keep trying to pull back the layers, you're getting a little bit of maybe like the youthful white dog note. Apart from that, maybe some like yeasty popcorny notes there. Not really much wood, not much heat, which is pretty good, you know, for a cheap bottle. Yep, not really much oak there. Maybe a little bit of spice there. Maybe a shade of rye, or something like that coming through. Maybe there's a little bit of strawberry there as well, like a strawberry pastry note. Is there such thing as a strawberry pie? You know, like a cherry pie? I guess you can just put anything in any pie, really, can't you? So, but I don't know if that's a thing, strawberry pie. All right then, this is Very Old Barton from the Barton Distillery. Let's go in for a taste here. Very soft up front. very soft on the palate. It doesn't shock your palate, which is good, because budget whiskey can have a tendency to doing that. Like you'll taste it, and then firstly you'll get a little bit of sweetness, and then you kind of have this grain alcohol shock. Not getting that with this, which is kudos to the whiskey in the glass. It becomes very approachable on the palate. Get a really nice butterscotch sweetness there as well. Again, not really getting much wood that's coming through, which again is pretty understandable. And then as that kind of transitions, there's a little bit of a finish. The good sweetness comes rolling in, and you get a little bit of heat there. That kind of pushes out the sweetness, pushes out the finish a little bit more. I would say you probably get a little bit of tannins there, which is pretty interesting for what probably is more of a youthful whiskey. The tannins normally hit me on like the older stuff. It is reminiscent of Barton stuff by like 1792, has some of those similar notes. Maybe that's where I was getting the strawberry from, because I do tend to get strawberry from some of that range, especially the small batch. I wouldn't say this is this tastes exactly like the small batch, but there's definitely stuff to compare them. Let's go in for another taste here. Second pass had more of a zing on the tongue. Maybe like a little bit of a citrus note there as well, but still more of like a savory corn popcorn, strawberry, shortbread type note there in the background. In terms of budget whiskey that is about $15 to $20, you can still get whiskey cheaper than that. I don't know what you can categorize budget whiskey as anymore. Maybe $30, even $40 or $50 could be classified as budget whiskey with how crazy some of the prices are going right now. But I would definitely class this in that category. I would say this is definitely one of the better tasting ones that I've had. I think it's approachable. I think this would probably mix really well. I think that might bring out some maybe more spice or some other notes that are hiding in there with the sweetness that could help cut through them a little bit. I don't know if this would be as good. This is as good as Evan Williams White Label. I can't remember what I give that as a score, but we'll just review and score this as nature intended. So, value for money, A through F, and then score of 100. So value for money, A through F. So this is a cheap bottle, and it's a decent and fun bottle to drink at that. I think this is a B. I think this is good enough that if you paid $30 for it, you'll be okay. This is probably right in line with my $30. I do think it punches a little bit more. I wish that it had a little bit more of an oak characteristic to it. I wish that it didn't have that kind of a youthful bite in the background on the nose. I think the palate is where this comes to life with those sweeter notes, some of those savory, yeasty corn, popcorn notes with that strawberry and the red berry. I think that's what it does really well, and it's a nice, decent finish there in the background. So I think B, value for money, is excellent. Score of 100. I think this is in the 60s. I wouldn't definitely go higher than that, so 60s, but I think I'm gonna give it a 64 out of 100, which is a very good score for a budget whiskey. I think we give Evan Williams the 70s, I think maybe. Not that I was thinking about that when I give this score. So 64 and a B. I think that's, if you have the money to throw on whiskey, by all means pay more money for more expensive whiskey. But if you're someone who likes to be on a budget and likes to find good value for money in whiskey, then look no further to this. I haven't really been looking for this lately, so it might have become more available in different areas of the US. But again, $18, $19, probably more with the increases, like low 20s, maybe like $20 right now. Or it could maybe even be less than that. Maybe I overpaid for it. I don't quite know the value of this bottle on the market. But 64 out of 100 and a B, I think that's definitely worth a buy. You're probably gonna see this on another video coming up here where I run through all the empty bottles that I have from the last year as we kind of finish this off. Like I said, not much left there at all. So if you like what we're doing, definitely subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification. There's a lot of interesting announcements that we'll be doing coming up here with giveaways and raffles and charity events. So definitely continue watching and paying attention, which is why you want to hit that bell icon there. As we say on the channel, as we drink through the world's whiskies one glass at a time. Thanks for watching. Cheers.